What's going on, guys? Please excuse the sun if my eyes look closed, but it's a beautiful day out here. Last night was WWE Payback. I was glued to the TV, especially for the last match, the main event between The Shield and Evolution. But let's jump right into it. WWE Payback last night live on the WWE Network in Chicago, Illinois. WWE Payback started off with the pre-show on the network. It was a mask versus hair match between El Torito and Hornswoggle. A follow-up from Extreme Rules WLC match, and the whole feud between 3MB and Los Matadores. Like I mentioned, it was a hair versus mask match. Hornswoggle did pull off El Torito's mask just to another mask that El Torito was wearing. Torito then got the pin, and Hornswoggle was forced to let Torito and Los Matadores shave his head. Wasn't necessarily the most pretty sight, but nonetheless, Hornswoggle was shaven. And I don't know how long this feud, if this feud is still going on, past Extreme Rules like it did, and maybe now past Payback, but we will see tonight on WWE Monday Night Raw. Up next, we had the United States Championship match between Sheamus and Cesaro. Like I mentioned in my prediction video, I didn't see Cesaro winning. I didn't see any potential in Cesaro winning, but then again, Sheamus just won the championship. So I don't know. My pick was Cesaro, but Sheamus was able to pick up the win. Cesaro did give Sheamus a Cesaro swing, a huge uppercuts at one point. Sheamus then hit a small package pin on Cesaro to retain the championship. Maybe this feud will go on. I believe tonight on WWE Monday Night Raw it is confirmed Sheamus and Rob Van Dam versus Bad News Barrett and Cesaro. So we will see how this feud potentially goes on and for the United States Championship. We then had Rybaxel of Ryback and Curtis Axel defeat Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Ryback pinned Cody Rhodes after countering a disaster kick into a shell shock. But before the match, it was also on the pre-show, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, they were just saying they're pumped, and the Brotherhood started in Chicago, and it's going to go on. Cody Rhodes was pumped, and they haven't really won lately, so Cody Rhodes said tonight is their night, and they would win. I mentioned that they did lose. So post-match, after the match, Cody said that Goldust deserved a better tag team partner and pretty much just walked out. So we will see if the Brotherhood does start a feud like I did mention a few weeks ago on this channel. I don't know. It doesn't look too much right now. If it is, they appear to be waiting on it because Cody Rhodes just told Goldust to find a better partner and pretty much it. No frustration, no pushing. Like we did see a couple weeks ago. So we will see what happens next between the Brotherhood of Cody Rhodes and Goldust. We then had pretty much the squash match between Rusev and Big E. Rusev won by the submission, the Accolade. But to be honest with you, Rusev and Big E did perform a great match. Usually Rusev's in pretty bland matches. I'm usually not too excited to see Rusev in the ring. But nonetheless, Rusev did defeat Big E, and it actually was a great match between both Rusev and Big E. We then had a match that was announced on the pre-show as well. It would be Kofi Kingston versus Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas came to a very inspirational entrance. I'm actually a fan of Bo Dallas, like I mentioned in my Raw review last week. So, I don't know, but the match never actually happened because Kane's fireworks came out, and Kane showed up, and Kane just pretty much beat up Kofi Kingston, gave him a choke slam, followed by a tombstone pile driver. Now, while this was happening, I had no idea why Kane chose to attack Kofi, but then I looked into it, saw on Kofi Kingston's Twitter that he was pretty much just dissing the authorities and saying it's not fair, and they're just using their leadership against everything. So that pretty much explains it. After the attack, Bo Dallas told Kofi he'd be back on his feet and better than ever in no time, and he has to Bo-lieve. So Bo Dallas is cutting a kind of like an arrogant heel promo, but keeping the gimmick 100% on point. It's pretty interesting, but nonetheless, Kofi Kingston was attacked by Kane. We will see the follow-up tonight on WWE Monday Night Raw, and Bo Dallas pretty much told Kofi Kingston that he's going to be okay and just Bo-lieve. We then had the Intercontinental Championship match between Bad News Barrett and Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam's huge. He put on some great maneuvers in the match, great at putting over talent, as Bad News Barrett retained and defeated Rob Van Dam. Barrett countered a split leg moonsault and hit the bullhammer elbow. Earlier in the match, he hit the bullhammer against the turnbuckle, but he was still able to capitalize from that and hit the huge bull hammer on Rob Van Dam. We then had one of the main events of the evening, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt in the last man standing match. This match was great. Both men worked hard. At one point, John Cena threw the steel steps onto Bray Wyatt. It was amazing. One of the best matches that John Cena has put on in the past little while. Same with Bray Wyatt. This match, between all the Cena-Wyatt matches, this one was definitely the best. Cena put Wyatt through an equipment box and with an attitude adjustment, and then another box on top of him, so he was pretty much buried. That then set the 10 count for the last man standing match, having John Cena beat and defeat Bray Wyatt. Stephanie McMahon, the whole thing with Daniel Bryan, that he has to either surrender the belt or his wife, Brie Bella, would get fired. Stephanie McMahon brought them out in hopes that she would get Bryan's title, but then Brie just said, "You don't have to fire me because I quit." Stephanie McMahon then laughed, and then Brie Bella gave her a huge slap, and then just pretty much Brie and Daniel Bryan celebrated, while Stephanie pretty much just ran away. So Stephanie got the slap from Brie. Brie did quit, but Bryan still has the belt, so we'll see what the whole thing with the Bella goes. Maybe Daniel is going to be at home for the next couple weeks, especially with the neck injury, so his wife Brie Bella will probably have a break, take a break, and be with Daniel for the little while until Daniel Bryan does return to in-ring action. This isn't the end for Brie Bella, obviously, just part of the storyline, but for the foreseeable future, she would not be on. It's going to be interesting what happens to Nikki, but nonetheless, that's how it happened. We had the Divas Championship match between Paige and Alicia Fox. Paige tapped out Alicia to the Scorpion Crosslock. Alicia Fox then pretty much flipped out. We'll see the follow-up tonight on WWE Monday Night Raw. Next up, we had the main event, no-holds-barred 6-man elimination match between The Shield and Evolution. Seth Rollins pinned Batista after a spear from Roman Reigns. Dean Ambrose pinned Randy Orton following a headlock onto a steel chair, and Roman Reigns hit the spear on Triple H to win the match. Now, I was glued to my TV. If you guys follow me on Twitter, all that's in the description below. But if you guys follow me on Twitter, I usually tweet during the match, especially pay-per-view matches. I love tweeting and retweeting throughout the night. But there was like a 15-minute break between one tweet and my next one because I was legit glued to the TV. I was watching the main event. I couldn't move. I was watching with my parents, they were watching with my mom rather, and watching with my sister. She was in the room, and I was just legit glued to the TV. So great match, great main event. All 6 men put on a great match. Batista, Triple H, Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns all put on a great match. So that was WWE Payback for June 1st, 2014, live in Chicago. Great pay-per-view. It was a great pay-per-view. So a lot of feuds ended. Maybe some will start. But we'll see everything, the follow-up tonight in WWE Monday Night Raw, June 2nd, 2014.